The other contested races in town are District 6, and we have Peter Morin, who has a long history of service to Braintree, and for those of you younger folks may not know him as well, but I'd like Peter to come up and introduce himself.
Thank you, Mrs. Tuffy. Mrs. Tuffy had all three of my kids at South Middle. My name is Peter Morin. I live in the Highlands in District 6. Is anyone here from District 6? Please, one person. Thank you. Nice to meet you. We're all alone up there in the Highlands. I grew up in this town. Basically, I am who I am because of my parents, my wife and family, and this town. Okay? But this town gave me a great education, so I could go to a great college and go to law school. And I was lucky enough back in the 90s, when some of you may remember, I was a select board member from 1991 to 97. I was an assessor for 12 years, and then I was chair of the Charter Commission that changed the form of government in Braintree from select board town meeting to mayor council. I was Mayor Sullivan's first chief of staff and operations. And during that time, for 7 years, we did a lot of good things. And one of the things, when we came in, it was a fiscal wreck. It was a financial, we were in terrible straits. We had less than $1 million reserves for a $60 million budget. When I left in 2015, we had $14 million in reserves. We were able to fund East Middle School without a debt exclusion because we did the planning, we made it a goal, and we got it done. So, you know, I am experienced in financial management. I left Braintree to be the town administrator for the last 8 years in the town of Norwell. In Norwell, we had $1.5 million in reserves when I started and $5.3 million when I left. We had a $20 million capital plan, 10-year capital plan to improve a number of buildings, a highway department building, and a new town hall, which we got done for 20,000 square foot of office space for $5 million. We bought a building rather than built one. We did a $22 million 10-year capital plan without a debt exclusion. Okay? I'm experienced in putting together strategic financial plans for municipalities that get things done. We didn't do schools because the schools were done first before everything else was done. The last things that were done were the library, the highway bond, and town hall. I came in and got those done without an overrun. I want to be part of putting Braintree on a track to take care of the elementary schools and the high school. People talk about the high school being needed to be redone. It was built in 1974. My sister was in the first class that graduated. I was in the third from there. But the last elementary school that was built from brand new was about 1970, the Morrison School, and I was in 5th grade. That's a few years ago. Okay? We need to invest in our elementary schools, and I think I can contribute to the plan on that. I think we can be more efficient on how we spend. I think we can cut costs on things like trash. We are the host of a transfer station. We get about $743,000 from that for hosting it a year. We should leverage the fact that we are hosting it to get more money, so that the money that we raise from the trash fee and the money that we should get from hosting a transfer station should fully cover our trash costs, so that we're not subsidizing trash removal. That doesn't sound exciting, but that's where you free up money for teachers and police officers and firefighters. We can also save on health insurance by joining the Massachusetts Municipal Association's joint purchasing program and benefit, without any changes in plan design, benefit from the economies of scale from large joint purchasing programs. These are things that I think we can do. And the third thing that I think is a priority is provide tax relief to senior citizens, property tax relief to senior citizens that are eligible for senior circuit breaker relief from the state. I put a program together in Norwell that uses overlay surplus, the excess money from property tax abatements that will provide tax relief to people that are house rich and cash poor. There's no reason we can't do that here too. The things that I am proposing, I have done in other communities, and I can be a part of the team to do here. To the woman who's in District 6, I hope I earned your vote.